Hi guys. A lot has transpired since my pizza days. So, what I was doing a few years back, I'm not doing now. I'm doing something a little bit different. More on that later. I noticed that quite a bit of you wanted to. You were dissatisfied with my answer that I gave because I only gave the purpose for human existence, and you wanted to know what was the purpose of the universe. Now, I know it's been a few years, but I decided to do this video because I went back and looked at everything. I was like, there are some good points you guys brought up that I think is good. It's good questions. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit. The purpose of the universe. Well, I'm going to do it this way. Let's talk about the general purpose of the universe, okay? The first thing I want you to know is that from a Christian perspective, the general purpose of the universe is so that it glorifies God. In the Psalms, that's a book in the Bible, it says that their sound has gone out to the ends of the earth. They're talking about the elements in the heavens, like the stars and planets and just different things like that, or the heavens. It says the heavens declare the glory of God. And the generic purpose for the cosmos, the universe, and things like that is so that it can glorify God. Now, you might think this is absurd, and you might ask me and say, prove it. Well, what would be substantial proof? What would be good proof that that these things were created to glorify God? Because lots of people love to appeal to the scientific method because that's about the only thing that they know of that will verify anything. The problem with using the scientific method, from my perspective, is that the scientific method only deals with material physicality. The things around us in nature, and God is beyond nature. So how in a round world are you going to be able to comprehend something? What instrument, what tool do you use to verify that the heavens declare God's glory? Well, and let me put it this way. In Romans chapter 1, it says, nature attests to the divine power of God. So I want you to try something. I want you to go out to a nice quiet place, and I want you to sit down. And I want you to quiet yourself, quiet your heart, and just listen. What are you listening for? Don't worry, just sit there and listen. Okay? Focus. Don't let your mind get distracted. Just sit and focus on the nature that is around you. Go to a park somewhere, or maybe out in the country, and try this for try it for a month. If you do it correctly, you should be able to discover that there is an element of nature, something that is giving nature life, that is beyond biological processes, okay? So go ahead and just try to do that. I know it's a little different and you may not be used to it, but just try it, okay? And see what you find. Okay? Because the Bible says nature attests to the glory of God. Okay, so, alright, well, let's test it out and see if it's true. Go out in nature. Go out in there and just be quiet and listen to everything around you. Listen to it all. So that's the best thing I can tell you to do at this point, because the scientific method, you cannot prove something like that by using the scientific method. And anyway, now let's talk about the specific biological purpose. That's probably what you guys were probably wanting to get at. And I would say that ultimately, now I'm not a scientist, but I don't think there's one single biological purpose for nature or everything. It's very complex because you have different organisms that operate in different functions and contexts and all that. It's too enormous of a scope. Because we're talking about the universe here, and not even a lot of scientists disagree on things like, even on evolutionary theory, where we came from. Some people say it's primordial soup, other people say it was the Big Bang, some people say, well, no, life didn't begin at the Big Bang. Oh no, you're wrong, it began with evolution. I've asked people, I said, where did evolution begin? They don't know. And the reality is that there's lots of things that scientists don't even agree on about the universe because it's too grand of a scope. And our little brains can't just wrap ourselves around that to comprehend something like that. It is basically too big for human minds to fathom. So, unfortunately, science is not going to be able to understand every single tiny little biological process and biological detail that comprises the whole universe. But using science, you can understand where you live, what issues affect you, and how nature works. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with studying chemistry or biology or anything like that. Now, I want you to wrap your mind around this. The Bible says to know the love of God that passes knowledge. What do you mean? How do I know that something exists if it is beyond my mind, my brain's scope to comprehend it? Well, from my perspective, my viewpoint, if you really want to know if God exists or not, you're going to look for him, even though you may not know what tool or what instrument to use in order to find him. I personally recommend prayer. I mean, after all, think about it. If there is a God up there somewhere, he will reach out to you if he's real. So, pray. And believe you'll find him. And, well, that's all I can tell you to do at this point because, those people who want to search for God, they're going to find him. And I'm telling you, if you want to find God for yourself, you can. But you've got to begin your journey, your search for God. Okay? I hope that answers your question. There are several other issues that I didn't talk about here in this video, but I'm going to do it in separate video. There's a few other issues that came up in the comment section of on my video response when I was back in my pizza days. And we'll talk about that. But at this point, this is a video response in regards to the purpose of the universe. Comments, suggestions, whatever. Look forward to hearing from you. Bye.